Home stretch in the Empire Stakes. Bush and McCain in an all-out battle for New York that could decide the nomination. High-tech stocks rally into record territory. Unemployment going up gets the markets excited. And remembering one of the latest and youngest victims of gun violence.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. It's a Bush-McCain New York street fight. The Republican presidential candidates hit the state running and sniping today with only 4 days to go to Super Tuesday. New York has 101 of the 613 delegates at stake in Tuesday's primaries and caucuses. Many consider the Empire State now a must-win for McCain. McCain drew a cast of thousands to a Wall Street rally. McCain charged Bush with dirty politics over these clean air ads that popped up for Bush and other ads that claimed McCain is against breast cancer research. Underscoring that line of attack, Bush made a campaign stop at a New York breast cancer research center. CBS's Phil Jones is covering this battle over big money, negative campaigning, and Super Tuesday.
Maverick John McCain needed something that looked like he's not on the ropes. So he went to Wall Street today for a noon rally.
And I love New York.
Along with confetti, McCain was armed with jabs at the New York Republican governor and GOP hierarchy that tried unsuccessfully to keep him off the state's primary ballot.
And we were able to tear down the last vestige of communism that I know of and get us on the ballot and beat that machine.
George W. Bush needed a photo op to remind voters he is indeed the New York Party machine's guy. So he stayed close to the governor and New York City mayor. At McCain's rally, he warned about how the war to capture New York on Tuesday was escalating. He talked about a new multi-million-dollar negative television blitz to discredit him, paid for by a wealthy, longtime supporter of Governor Bush.
Last year, John McCain voted against solar and renewable energy. That means more use of coal-burning plants that pollute our air.
The ad has been labeled misleading and unfair by other environmental groups. Bush was asked today what he knew about the ad.
You have no knowledge of this ad or anything about it. There was no coordination.
None at all. None whatsoever.
McCain is even against funding for breast cancer mapping, which is essential to breast cancer research.
But Bush did know about a radio ad recorded by supporter Jerry Barish, who was at his side today.
We deserve a candidate with a record on women's issues we can trust.
Paid for by Bush for President, Incorporated.
In an interview on McCain's bus, he responded to this ad.
Breast cancer research, and I have voted many times in favor of it. So it's unfortunate that the Bush people happen to wage this campaign, but I'm not being diverted by it.
McCain is also not being diverted from his attacks on Pat Robertson and Jerry Falwell, leaders of the so-called religious right. He did it again today. And campaign aides told me that it is the thing to do, and they're not sorry they're doing it. Dan?
Phil Jones. And with me now is CBS's Bob Schieffer with more about what's to come, what to look for, and just what John McCain is up against Super Tuesday. Bob, McCain is down, but is he out?
Well, I tell you, Dan, every time I get ready to write off John McCain, I go to one of these rallies like he had on Wall Street today, and there he is. It's very cold weather. There are thousands of people who've turned out. They're hollering, screaming. They're excited, trying to touch him. I think he's going to give George Bush a run for his money here in New York. The other part is, I think with Bush ahead so far in so many of these Super Tuesday states, if McCain does not win New York, I'm afraid he's done for.
Are the issues playing any real part now?
No, you know, these are good times, Dan, and the only issue here in this race is two men who have very different ideas of what the Republican Party ought to be. And if I could put in a little plug, we'll get a very good comparison of what those visions are. They're both going to be our guests on Face the Nation Sunday.
Bob Schieffer, thanks, and we'll be watching Sunday morning.
Thank you.
On the CBS Market Watch, a big rally on Wall Street, triple-digit gains for both the Dow and the NASDAQ. The NAS closed above 4,900 for the first time. This rally followed word of a rise in the unemployment rate up to 4.1%. CBS's Anthony Mason reports why more people out of work gets investors worked up.
Across every sector of the economy, job growth was weak in February. For the first time in 7 months, the unemployment rate ticked up. To economists, it was the first hint
that maybe some of the rate hikes that we've had from the Fed are beginning to bite, and that perhaps the economy is slowing just a little bit, which would obviously be a good thing.
Good for Fed Chairman Greenspan, who's vowed to keep raising interest rates until the economy cools off. Signs of a slowdown had Wall Street looking up. The Dow roared ahead more than 200 points on the news, says Payne Weber's Arthur Cashin.
The numbers were a big hit down here.
After falling below 10,000 last Friday, the Dow gained 500 points this week, but is still off nearly 10% for the year. The NASDAQ is another story.
Best sell-side name, though, Wick. I need it.
So relative to the S&P and the Dow so far, they pretty much sucked all the oxygen out of the room.
Powered by tech stocks, the NASDAQ rallied again today, up 160 points. It's now up more than 20% for the year and fast approaching 5,000.
We're looking at an economy that is doing things the likes of which we've never seen. Our economic speed limit keeps rising every time you turn around. We're in uncharted waters.
We sure are. Listen to this. Since this date last year, the NASDAQ is up 117%. Now, economists looking at today's unemployment numbers caution that 1 month does not make a trend. And the Fed is still expected to raise rates later this month. That would be the 5th hike in 8 months. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thanks. Well, are you ready to pay $5 for a gallon of gasoline? That's how much it costs at this station in Tennessee. The owner says it's a protest against the higher prices the distributor is charging him. He didn't expect any drivers to pay it, but you know what? A few did. When that needle's on E, you can't be too choosy. Still ahead on the Friday CBS Evening News, rescue at last after a week stranded in a tree, and dietary supplements. CBS News investigates whether you're really getting what you pay for.
Okay, heads up. I'm quitting smoking. Again.
So, Dr. Jekyll, when should we expect Mr. Hyde?
You're looking at Hyde. I quit Saturday. This time, Nicoderm CQ.
Has Carol moved out yet?
Nope. In fact, she's tickled pink.
He does seem normal.
I am normal. This is CQ. Helps calm the cravings 24 hours a day, even when you first wake up.
Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
Guys, relax.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With ROC, the #1 anti-wrinkle retinol brand in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, ROC's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper, inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. ROC. We keep our promises.
So you want a PC with awesome power, but you don't want to clean out your savings, and you don't want to get off the couch. Well, sit back and call 1-800-GATEWAY. For an incredible $1,299, you can get a Gateway Select PC with a blazing 650 megahertz AMD Athlon processor, and we'll deliver it right to that place you call home. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
In Pennsylvania today, a gunman with a history of mental illness was arraigned on a 3rd count of homicide after another victim of his Wednesday shooting spree died. And in Michigan, CBS's Cynthia Bowers was there as neighbors said goodbye to a 6-year-old girl shot to death Tuesday by another first-grade classmate.
As a community gathers to remember and to mourn Kayla Rowland, understanding still seems far away.
We're here because we have 2 families that are in pain.
Here and across the country, people are still asking how this bright-eyed girl came to be gunned down in her own classroom by a fellow first grader. But the local prosecutor says he knows all too well.
We've taken dozens of guns off of kids in these school buildings.
In fact, for Art Bush, this is the 3rd time in recent memory when a child in this area under the age of 10 has shot and killed another kid.
We're looking to place blame someplace all the time. Obviously, the blame, in my opinion, is to the person who let this little boy have a gun.
Police say that person was Jamel James, who shared this so-called blop house with the boy and his uncle. James now faces a charge of involuntary manslaughter for leaving the gun where the boy could find it. The boy won't face charges, but his attorney says he has already paid a heavy price in his young life.
You have to ask yourself,
how did this happen that this little boy would not feel some, or not show some sign of remorse, or some sign that I've done something bad?
This factory is dead.
Bush says there are too many kids like that in this hard luck town.
This is going to be either the worst thing that ever happened to this kid, and he'll end up repeating his crime at some point, or this may be the best thing that ever happened to him.
But it is the worst thing that could have happened to the Rowland family. Especially tragic in light of the fact the boy was reportedly scheduled to begin counseling on Monday. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Flint, Michigan.
A death row inmate in Texas will not be getting out of prison after all, at least not yet. A federal judge had ordered Calvin Burdine freed because the state attorney general missed a deadline to file for a new trial. The convict was expecting to get out next Monday, but the state quickly appealed, and today a federal court put a hold on Burdine's release until it can hear the case. The United States and Europe are finally coming to the rescue in Mozambique, where up to 1 million people have been displaced by floods. The rescuers are in a race against disease, starvation, and the exhaustion of people trapped for 5 days. CBS's Alan Pizzi is in Mozambique.
For people who have probably never been in a helicopter before, the winch ride must be terrifying. But after a week in a tree, no one refuses it. And for the South African helicopter crews fishing people from the mud-browned floodwaters, the little fish are the biggest prize. The will to survive is embodied in an old man who must be brought up by a crewman. He's blind. They stagger from the helicopter, sometimes still dripping wet. Left alone in the confusion, the blind man reaches for his unknown saviors. All are weak from exhaustion, hunger, and, in the cruelest irony, thirst. In the refugee camps, the most eagerly sought place is the water tap. Health authorities are warning that pregnant women are in dire risk under these conditions. The hardest hit areas simply don't have the means to cope with the scale of the disaster or keep pace with the international response. Another cruel irony.
The relief aid may be moving slowly towards the flood victims, but the World Food Program says the $7 million it asked for to buy this food came in record time, but it's still not enough.
Need and demand still far outstrip supply.
No, nothing at the moment.
There's nothing left for people.
And another cyclone is heading for the Mozambique coast, just when the muddy torrent was starting to recede. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Magudi.
More CBS News ahead. Storm clouds building as China invades Taiwan's election campaign with threats of war.
Good evening, Batman.
Alfred.
I've stepped up safety in the Batmobile, sir.
Really?
Should a villain steal it, someone will track it. If your airbag goes off, an advisor will assist you. If you're stranded, satellites will help locate you.
And where have you put all these things?
Just press the OnStar button, sir.
Well done, Alfred.
My pleasure, sir.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
Our eyes have their own moisturizers, natural tears. So we took essential ingredients found in natural tears, added more moisturizers than any leading eye drop, and put them in Visine Tears. Visine Tears replenishes our eyes' natural moisture, bringing soothing relief to dry, scratchy eyes. Safe to use as often as you need. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out. Also available preservative-free.
Hey, Bill Duffy, what's on your plate today?
Grandpa, look who's here. We've got them all day.
Grandpa, can I have a pickle?
Even on days like this, even after the heartburn strikes, it's not too late for Pepsid AC. Because Pepsid AC controls acid before, during, or even after the start of heartburn.
Now they're having a great time.
No matter what's on your plate, today should be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
We're here in South Central Los Angeles, and we're building a children's playground.
150 people from Home Depot came out today.
All these folks from the Team Depot associates are volunteers out here today. They're not being paid. This is a day off.
And we're all glad to be here.
The kids of a place called home are so excited.
The playground is going to be great and wonderful for our kids in the community. It's going to be somewhere safe.
There's jungle gym, swings,
monkey bars, slides.
It's a kid's dream.
My daughter will have a lot of fun, and other kids in our community will too.
China's communist rulers are increasing their threats against Taiwan, with the independent and democratic islanders preparing to elect a new president The message across the Taiwan Strait is loud, clear, and menacing, as CBS News correspondent Barry Peterson reports on assignment in Beijing.
As China's communists gathered for their annual conference, Taiwan was the thorn in their side. Where unification of the motherland, he says, is a sacred mission. What's enraged the Chinese are statements by Taiwan's leaders that the two deal with each other state by state as if Taiwan's an equal country. The Chinese consider it a breakaway renegade province, and their most recent response in a government white paper that Taiwan better start negotiating reunification and soon, or China will resort to force. The tough words are aimed at Taiwan's presidential candidates. Voting is in 2 weeks. China's message, stop flirting with independence. China's military is getting ready should Taiwan dare cross the line, says the director of China's foremost government-funded think tank. What happens if Taiwan declares independence?
Oh, I think that means a declaration of war.
Declaration of war?
Yes.
But the bullying is backfiring in Washington. There's now increased pressure to sell Taiwan more sophisticated American weapons, and growing opposition to a new trade deal with China and its bid for membership in the WTO, the World Trade Organization. Will that make China's leaders back off on reunification?
They will immediately tell you that I prefer the reunification. Forget WTO.
And China's leaders may be under internal pressure from their own generals not to look weak.
Well, the military is much more bellicose and much more hardline on the question of Taiwan than the civilian leadership is.
As the communists meet in the days ahead, there will be more threats. China making clear this is a blood feud it will risk all to settle its way. On assignment in Beijing, I'm Barry Peterson.
General Augusto Pinochet is home in Chile tonight, safe and free. The 84-year-old former dictator waved to cheering supporters as he arrived from London. Britain ruled Pinochet was mentally and physically, quote, unfit to stand trial for torturing and killing Chilean political opponents. Up next here on CBS, are you getting your money's worth for dietary supplements? The Health Watch investigates.
Stop assuming that just because you're hugging one of these, you can't have a car that was made for hugging these. Oldsmobile Alero with the road-hugging active response system. Alero by Oldsmobile.
You are in the fight of your life. Just you against your smoking addiction, one-on-one. Trouble is, it's not a fair fight, and few people win it. But you can give yourself a fighting chance to win with Zyban. Zyban doesn't work for everyone. Zyban is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor to help you stop smoking. It's different from nicotine replacements. Zyban is the only prescription medicine that's nicotine-free, so you don't have to stop smoking all at once. As Zyban reduces your cravings, you feel like smoking less and less until you're ready to stop completely because you're ready to win. You should know there is a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you have or have had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you take Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you use an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you because it can help you quit smoking by making it a fight you can win. Zyban, you don't have to quit all at once.
Amazing as it may seem, the same bare aspirin you take for muscle pain and backaches can actually help stop someone you love from dying if taken during a heart attack.
Peter?
That's why aspirin is the one pain reliever you should never be without. Talk to your doctor now.
They said you'll be okay.
Bayer, take it for pain, take it for life.
There has been a big victory in court for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's clean air regulations. A federal appeals court today upheld EPA rules requiring 19 states to slap new controls on emissions from large coal-burning power plants. The regulations are mostly aimed at curtailing long-distance pollution drifting from the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. On the CBS Health Watch, the second of our two in-depth reports investigating dietary supplements and herbal remedies. Americans spend about $14 billion a year on these products. So, do you always get what you pay for? CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon has been digging into whether the ingredients list should include rip-off.
So you've decided to try the dietary supplement Ginkgo biloba to improve your memory. But when you go to the store, how do you choose from the dozens of brands? Consumers admit more often than not it's a leap of faith.
I always read the labels, definitely.
But when it comes to the unregulated universe of dietary supplements, what's on the label isn't always what's in the bottle.
How real a concern is the issue of getting ripped off?
That's a real concern.
Todd Cooperman runs Consumer Lab, the first company dedicated to testing dietary supplements to see if they contain the advertised ingredients. Consumer Lab buys products off store shelves and sends them out to independent labs where they're broken down and analyzed for content. So far, Consumer Lab has tested 3 top-selling products. Of Ginkgo biloba for memory, 30 brands were tested, 7 failed. Saw Palmetto for prostate health, 27 brands were tested, 10 failed. And glucosamine combined with chondroitin for arthritis, 13 brands were tested and 6 failed. Everything that failed was tested twice.
They don't have the ingredients that one would expect based on products that have been shown to work.
In order for saw palmetto to improve prostate health, studies suggest it should contain saw palmetto extract. This failing product contained only saw palmetto powder.
We found that you would really need to take 10 to 20 of these a day, to get the effect that probably 2 of these would have.
The tests confirm the majority of supplements are okay, but a supplement industry spokesman still advises consumers to know the company they're buying from.
They should be buying from a well-recognized company that they have had experience with.
Whether or not supplements work may still be up for debate, but one thing is certain. If you're not getting the right ingredients, there's little hope they'll help. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
48 years ago tomorrow, Ronald Reagan married Nancy Davis in a small chapel in Los Angeles. To mark their anniversary, Mrs. Reagan released this rare photograph of the former president, who is suffering Alzheimer's disease. It's said to have been taken 4 weeks ago on former President Reagan's 89th birthday. Just ahead, a candidate close-up, in depth with George W. Bush.
You call this clean enough? Sir, no, sir! We used this other sweeper, used it just today. We figured every sweeper was the same. No way! You shoulda used a Swiffer, boys. It's the better kind of sweeper, the real McCoy. The cloths are new and thicker now. The lift and lock pockets are deeper. Wow, much more attractive. To get more dust and dirt right out of E Company. I call this clean. Swiffer's the one, it's the better way to get it done.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
Why nasal crawl? Look at me. I'm not sneezing, but I'm not drowsy. I'm not stuffy, but I'm not jittery. Nasal Crom's incredible. It prevents allergies with none of these side effects. Nasal Crom. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
It's taken thousands of hours of work for us to reach these numbers. But for you to reach us, all you need is this number, 1-800-4STRONG. You're one call away from a strong portfolio.
We close tonight with another in our series of candidate close-ups profiling the character and personality of the presidential contenders. This time, George W. Bush. CBS's Bob McNamara has who Bush is and what it's like to be just a W away from a famous father.
He has always been a golden child, whose family photos look like publicity stills. And they were.
George W.
George W. Bush, son of famous parents, is a man forced to run both with his past and from it.
It's not his fault that he's George W. Bush. There's nothing he could do about it. The fact that he's taken advantage of it over the years, well, he would have been a fool not to, wouldn't he?
It is a question that haunts his campaign, that has blessed and burdened George W. Bush all his life. How much of this is him, and how much is what he feels he has to do?
I inherited half my dad's friends and all his enemies.
He dismisses the questions with wisecracks.
This boy, this son of ours, is not going to let you down. He's going to go all the way and serve with great honor.
But even after the ups and downs of a string of early primaries, after back-to-back elections as Texas governor, the question remains, who is he?
He's a ferocious competitor. People have seen that over the last several weeks, what a ferocious competitor he is. Nobody should question that.
Don Evans has been a close friend since Bush's first ill-fated campaign for Congress in 1978.
I came in second place in a two-person race.
Back then, Bush was a novice in a nasty Texas race, painted by his opponent as a carpetbagging Easterner. It was a hard lesson that's lately come in handy.
Don't let your opponent define you. If your opponent tries to define you, you need to make sure that it's that you respond to that.
He says one thing and does another. That's shameful politics.
Today, Bush is hitting his opponent hard.
Governor, are you saying that the Democrats who vote...
The next last question?
Trying to handle his impatience.
You're through asking questions.
And playing it safe.
She asked, what advice would I give South Carolina on the lottery? It's that same advice I'm going to give you on the flag. You figure it out.
But there's that same question. Who is he?
I'm a fella who can handle the job. But if it doesn't work out, hey, I'll go back to Texas and love my family and live a life I love.
He's somebody that relies on his faith and his family, his friends, and he's just very comfortable with who he is.
Some days he seems to relish the race. Some days he sounds homesick.
Let me tell you the worst thing about campaigning, and it's missing my family.
The next president of the United States, George W. Bush.
But for now, his life is again a series of publicity photos. Still, the golden child. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Columbia, South Carolina.
Monday, we profile Al Gore. Now from 60 Minutes, Morley Safer.
Does the federal law that keeps disabled children in school also keep potentially dangerous children in school? And if you think you know Dikembe Mutombo on the court, wait until you meet him off the court with Ed Bradley on 60 Minutes Sunday.
And we invite you to join us again Monday for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting from New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
How to protect yourself from internet auction fraud on the Saturday Early Show. Experience CBS News.
Several college students have been attacked near campus, but the school kept it hush-hush. Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, we'll tell you why.
And a robber gets a fistful from a victim. Coming up, the amazing video of a clerk who fought back.
He is armed, and he's dangerous, and he will kill.
And he's on the run. Tonight, a man fought off his kidnapper and tells us his story of survival. The news is right here, right now.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is News Channel 5 at 6. Your news and information.